Hey guys, welcome back to Sky Talks Trading. My name is Sky and I'm on a quest to invest. Today's video is all about AMC. I haven't talked about AMC for a little while now, but I got a comment on my most recent video asking for my opinion on everything that's going on right now. So I would like to start today's video with a quote from Warren Buffett. Unless you can watch your stock holdings decline by 50% without becoming panic-stricken, you should not be in the stock market. And I 100% agree with this. But I think it's hard to stay emotionless, stay calm, whenever there's such blatant manipulation going on, whenever there is unfairness. As humans, I can only speak for humans. I can't speak for the robot population among us. But it's not a very nice feeling when things are unfair. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the manipulation. Let's talk about some upcoming catalysts. Right now, at the time of recording this, AMC is just below $30. So they have managed to knock it below $30. And honestly, people are just gobbling up shares at this price, you know, like the way my dog gobbles up crumbs off the floor when I'm buttering my toast in the morning. So some people say that there are billions of shares floating around, maybe 2-3 billion. That's the thing. I mean, nobody can say for sure. Nobody has an exact number. There's different theories going on. We just know there is manipulation. We know that there are synthetic shares, which is a very nice term for it, I think, rather than fraudulent shares. So we're going to go over some very conservative estimates. The total legal issued shares are 513,330,240. And then when it comes to institutional shares, we have 143,729,610. That is 28.64%. So if we do the math, we subtract that second number from the first number, we are left with 369,600,630 shares available. And the amount of shareholders are 4.1 million. So we break it down to average shares held, 120. So now that we've got those numbers outlined, let's move on to a more realistic but conservative estimate. From the last share recount, we know that we have 4.1 million shareholders. Now, let's say that anyone who had paper hands, you know, that weren't necessarily as dedicated to the cause, to holding, let's say those people sold. You know, not all 4.1 million shareholders are going to be diamond hands, so to speak. That's just natural. That's just how it works. Conservatively, let's say we only have 2.5 million shareholders now, okay? And I think that is quite a conservative number. So we went from 4.1 million to 2.5 million. 2.5 million apes, I think is fair to say. Anyone who's very dedicated, they're going to be, you know, in the ape community. And those people are continuously buying. Most of them are continuously buying and have an average shares of around, let's say, 200 shares. Again, I think it's probably much more, but we're being as conservative as possible here. So we've got 2,500,000 by 200. That equals 500 million thousand. Now, if you up that number by an extra 50, you get 625 million. That means even in the most conservative estimate, retail investors own the whole float. Okay, they just own the company. It's theirs. You know, we already know that there are many retail holders out there that own, you know, thousands and in the 4 digits, in the 6 digits amount of shares. I mean, I saw a post today from someone saying that them and their wife were going to take out $10,000 loan to buy more shares. So where are those extra shares coming from? Short exempt is supposed to be rare, and yet we see hundreds of thousands of short exempt shares on a daily basis. So short exempt plus naked shorting plus dark pools over 60 to 70% every day for 2 months. Let's just talk really quick about short exempt. Short exempt orders are allowed to initiate short selling of securities even during times that may be otherwise restricted. These are statistically very rare, and most retail traders would not experience the effects of these restrictions or their exemptions because the modified uptick rule only kicks in under extreme circumstances, and the exemption to this rule occurs in only very rare cases within those extreme circumstances. So I think there's one thing for sure is that AMC has shown the world how deep the corruption in the US market is. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen next. You know, they're trying their best right now. I think they're coming in guns blazing, and they could only manage to knock it down below 30. And people are still just, you know, having a great time at the bargain bin with these shares. I think, you know, the hedge funds have underestimated the people. You know, people have been in this since January. And it's kind of consumed a lot of their mental space. And, you know, it's been a very big thing in people's lives. And I don't think that, it's gone below 30. I'm just going to sell it all. Let's just pack up and go home, guys. Let's close down the subreddit. Let's just call it a day. Game over. You know, it's just not going to happen. It's going to take a lot more than that. Like I say, of course, there's probably some people that did sell. We've also got the earnings report coming up. I really think those will be very promising. I know that a lot of AMC holders have been very dedicated to going out and seeing movies. And we know how many shareholders there are. So, you know, yeah, I think earnings are going to be very good. And then we've got the new cat share surveillance starting in September, and that will require massive reporting, even in shares that go to dark pool. And then we've got the NSCC becoming middleman to prevent the nakeds and have FTDs covered. And also the NSCC clearinghouse to protect the market and provide the liquidity for margin call covering. Also, banks may start having major issues, starting with BOA. And there's also FTDs galore for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, we just got to get through this manipulation. I mean, the ETFs are even, you know, the ETFs that the hedges are shorting to help bring AMC down own 11% of the float. You know, how this ends is going to determine the health of the US markets for decades to come. This is several generations of new investors watching to see what happens next, if these people will be punished or they will just run free and get away with it. And, you know, it could go either way, honestly. If this squeezes, there will be a crash. And if it doesn't, there still will be a crash. Because 7 million plus investors will not want to deal with the criminal stuff in the US markets and just pull out from the whole thing entirely and just be done with it. So yeah, that is one theory, that plain and simple, no matter what happens, the market will crash. And then there are 2 options open to them. A, hedge funds escape. They manipulate to a win by bribing the authorities to legislate in their favor. Also the politicians, banks, and media. The investors will see this. They pull out forever. Like, they're just done. They're more jaded than ever. And there's no integrity in the market. Mass liquidation will happen, market crash, and a very slow market recovery. You know, no one will want to touch this market. And then you've got option B. The hedge funds lose. The squeezing, you know, is the biggest squeeze of all time. 7 million plus new investors are on a high from winning big money, wanting to keep the cash flowing in, immediately dump some more back into the market. The market crashes, but the new investors immediately push it back up. And then the biggest mother of all tax years comes, and many problems in the country gets fixed. There's 7 million new millionaires, also stimulate the economy a lot. Charities will hopefully see a historic year for donations. Hopefully these millionaires are a little bit generous. And criminals will lose big time. And the feds can put the printers on overtime and bail out the retirement funds that are lost for the workers. So yeah, those are 2 possible theories floating around. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys, have a great day.